Last year, China-Africa trade reached $210 billion, with more than 2,500 Chinese companies operating in the continent. Professor, in the last decade, there's been an intensification of bilateral relations between African countries and China. Is this good for Africa?
What we can say is that China is very good at projecting and promoting its own interests, just as other countries have been doing. They just promote their own interests. And the coincidence is that Chinese interests and African interests have converged. And when you have convergence of interests, you deal. When you don't have convergence of interest, or when the interests are divergent, you separate, you go your own way. But each side is promoting its own interest, the best way it knows how. And I think the Chinese have found a formula of promoting their own interests, and the Africans agree with that.
Kenya is one of the many beneficiaries of the Chinese interest in Africa, having signed deals worth billions of shillings to support development in various sectors. We've seen the Kenyan government cut deals that run into billions with the Chinese government. Are we mortgaging Kenya?
What we need to do is to be sure that the people charged with the responsibility of delivering actually deliver. So the cost is not so much the issue now. Can you deliver? And the same cost, if it was being other people were trying to do it, they might even charge 700 billion and not deliver. This has been the perception or differences. That whatever you argue, the Chinese give you the best cost. They deliver, okay, on time, and they do not insult you.
The relationship between ourselves and China is founded, as the Prime Minister reminded us recently, on 4 basic principles: treating each other sincerely and equally, consolidating solidarity and mutual trust, jointly pursuing inclusive development, and promoting inventive, practical cooperation between our two countries.
But how is the decision by the Kenyan government to deal with countries like China going to affect the relations between Kenya and Western allies?
You have good relations with Britain and America, you must do what they want. Okay? And the point was, people are saying no, because that's a master-slave relationship. If I have to do what you want, then I'm no longer free. I'm not independent. I may be wrong in some things, but it's my mistake. And I should have that freedom to decide or not decide. So what you have, when Kibaki was president, is the intensification of the desire to make independent decisions and not to be forced to agree to things which are not made.
A section of African leaders also have issues with the Western world.
So we are therefore very happy to see that China is concentrating on the real issues of development. They don't give lectures on how to run local government, how to I don't want to speak about other subjects which they talk about.
The threshold of Article 61.
In a show of solidarity, China supported an African bid to suspend crimes against humanity case against Kenya's president at the ICC in November last year. The failure by the United Nations Security Council to adopt a draft resolution on deferring the International Criminal Court proceedings against Kenyan leaders was widely condemned by African leaders who felt let down by their Western counterparts. Some people argue that the case facing President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto at the ICC as one of the motivating factors that is driving this policy of look east. Would you say this is a true assertion?
It is very unfortunate for the Western countries because they showed their hand very clearly. They did not want Uhuru to win. Simple as that. Okay? And that's, some of them had not wanted Kibaki to win anyway. Okay? So these are facts. Okay? So they are maybe still bitter that all the money they pumped in, all the advice they gave, all the ink they poured in various arguments, advising whatever it is, Kenyans rejected them.